Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Cancio, and I am the Executive Director for Chambers South. And today we have Jose Romano, who is the president of the Zoo Miami Foundation, and we're so excited to welcome him and get to know him a little bit more.
Thank
you for coming.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Zoo Miami, how the transition from Miami Metro Zoo came, how the branding came along, and then what are any updates that you would like people to know?
Sure. I think our origin story, like every good superhero, an origin story is very important. And a lot of people don't know that Zoo Miami, as it's known today, started first in Crandon Park. It was the Crandon Park Zoo in Key Biscayne. Started in 1948.
Okay, long time ago.
Long time ago. Before I was born.
Yeah.
And it was a traveling circus that was coming through Miami and through Key Biscayne. They ran out of money, and they had to sell a few animals in order to be able to get back home to where they were from. And so the city of Miami purchased 3 animals. I can't remember what they were, a donkey, a monkey, and a bear or something. And that was the beginning of Crandon Park Zoo. Crandon Park Zoo existed there. It was started in 1948. The Zoological Society of Florida, which is the predecessor to Zoo Miami Foundation, was started 8 years later in 1956. And since its inception, always raising money and really developing the opportunities for Zoo Miami to continue to grow. In 1965, unfortunately, there was a hurricane that came and killed 250 of the animals. Because back in those days, zoos, located their animals in cages, very different than we do today. So the decision was made that it had to be moved. And at that time, around 1972, at that point I was alive, they decided to move it inland. And there was the opportunity for the county to acquire the Richmond Airfield Base, which is where we're located now, which is an interesting story on its own. Over 800 acres of land out in Southwest Dade. And in the Decade of Progress Bond, which was 1972, money was raised along with $8 million to purchase that land, acquire it, and that was the future site of Miami Metro Zoo. It opened in 1980, July 4th, with the tiger exhibit as our hallmark exhibit. And we really have grown exponentially since that time. The Zoological Society changed its name to match Zoo Miami's name in 2015. And really, we have always been there in support. As a matter of fact, the natural disaster that we were running from in Crandon Park came to us in Hurricane Andrew in 1992, destroyed a lot of the zoo. Very few animals died. We were very well prepared for that. But again, the Zoological Society of Florida was there to raise the $15 million along with county funds to rebuild the zoo. So that brings us, to present day. Our last exhibit that we inaugurated was the Florida Mission Everglades in 2016. Have you been?
I have not. I feel like I need to get more in tune with my dates and everything here.
And I think you need to come by the zoo and experience it and its awesomeness. So that's really the last, major exhibit that we inaugurated. So right now our new zoo director, Will Elger, has a great master plan. We've worked on a strategic plan together with Zoo Miami. And right now what we have in the works is the tiger exhibit, which was the main attraction when we opened in 1980. There's going to be an expansion of that exhibit, which is going to include some what they call nose-to-nose opportunities with glass separating the tigers and the visitors. It's going to allow for more habitat space so that we can have multiple tigers out at a time, so we can have the babies out earlier. We just had a cub born.
Oh, how
super
sweet.
Cute. There's a contest right now on our Instagram in order to name it. But
I want to join it.
Yeah, what's a cool name? I don't know. Maybe Melissa. Who knows?
I don't know how cool that is, but
so anyways, the tiger expansion is going on. We're also going to expand the giraffe feeding platform. A lot of people are very excited about that. It's one of our biggest attractions. And then one of our hallmark kind of new projects that's been fully funded at this point is the new animal hospital. The original hospital was built in 1980. Yeah. When we had 1,000 animals under our care. Now we have over 2,500 animals under our care, and we really need this expansion. It's going to be a brand new facility located inside the zoo so that visitors can walk through it and see our amazing veterinarians.
How can people get involved to be able to participate in that or to bring that up?
So people can get involved with the zoo in many different ways. Obviously, an easy way is, number one, come out and see us, come out and visit. 2 is to become a member. That's like kind of the first level of involving yourself with the zoo. Then we have different levels of membership that go up to premier membership. For young professionals, we have a group called the Wild Bunch, which gets together and they do social hours, but they also do a lot of community work, and they raise money on behalf of the zoo and some different projects that we do. And then also you can join our board. We have a board of about 33 individuals now on the Zoo Miami Foundation board.
I didn't know that. Do they all come from is it, I guess, per county, or how does that work? Is it across Florida?
So it's really, we're focused on the Tri-County area. We do have a lot of folks from Broward, not really from Palm Beach at this point. We do draw from those three counties. And the idea is to eventually grow that board and grow into areas that were not really well represented, which, Broward and Palm Beach are those areas. Our board is pretty diverse in terms of industries that are represented. We have bankers, lawyers, we have veterinarians, we have marketing professionals. So, we try to diversify our board in many different ways.
That's pretty neat. I feel like you know so much of the history. When did you even start getting involved with the zoo, or did you know you want to work in anything with animals?
So it's an interesting question, right? Because I came from healthcare. I spent my previous 12 years with Baptist Health South Florida, but I've always had a desire, a love for the outdoors, whether it's exploring, canoeing, hiking, camping. That's always kind of been where I find my peace. And around 12 years ago, when I started at Baptist in government and community relations, one of the organizations that Baptist asked me to kind of build a relationship with was Zoo Miami and the foundation. So I started on the marketing committee, not even a part of the board, for 2 years. And then after those 2 years, I joined the board for 10 years, and I served as chair for 2. And in that time, I grew a tremendous passion and love for what the zoo's mission is, which is really to inspire people to protect and preserve nature and engage the community to do this through building relationships, education, and outreach.
That's true. It's a fun perspective to be able to see it from such a different light, from going to healthcare and then to Miami, but healthcare for animals maybe.
True, yes.
So it's still in the same realm, but that you were always involved and always consistent with your involvement with the zoo.
Yes.
And just knowing your history for it. So that's pretty neat. Is that something that you know that your kids will want to continue?
It's funny. Kids are, and I have 3 of them, and they're all very different. I will say that they grew up, camping with me and my wife.
Is it real camping or is it glamping?
I figured you were going to ask that. So it's really glamping.
Well, I've done both.
Yeah.
So camping,
trailer camping,
really humbles yourself.
Oh yes, you learn a lot about yourself in tent camping. But I will say that since the kids were very little, we've done a lot of trailer camping, and they've, they know a lot of things that friends of their age don't know. You know, how to start a fire, how to, put up a tent if you needed to. The Girl Scout,
Boy Scout mindset.
Yeah, a lot of that that we did on our own. So I think they appreciate it. I think that, they participate in all the events that we do at the zoo. Now my 8-year-old is a lot more active. He loves coming to the zoo to work with me, and he can give the tours better than I can at this point,
Really? So I'll be expecting a tour from your 8-year-old then?
Yes, Max. He's the best. He'll give you a good tour.
That's so nice that you've been able to do so much for the zoo. So then in terms of your hobbies and things like that, is that something that your organization supports? Or do you continue doing that even just for yourself without your family? Or I guess, how does it work in terms of the leadership style that you want to portray when you go into Zoo Miami? So
my leadership style is very inclusive. I always tell the folks that I work with that I have no pride of ownership in the ideas that I have, and please feel free to tell me if they're not good ideas, if they've been tried before. I have an open door policy. Everybody knows that on my staff, and sometimes it's 3 or 4 people coming in at a time, but it's a very I think it's a communal way to continue to raise the bar at Zoo Miami Foundation. My predecessor, Bill Moore, did an excellent job in creating kind of a base where we could grow upon. He was there for 10 years. I was on the executive committee that hired him, and I really thank him for creating the opportunity for us to now kind of raise the level of where we're going with the things that we want to do. And as far as my hobbies, I'm able to continue to do them because the zoo offers things like night out camping in the Everglades, which we're doing now in February. And my son
Is that open to the public?
It is open to the public.
Wow.
There's limited number of folks because, we do education along with it. And the idea is that we offer this to first-time campers. So people that have never experienced being out in the
different life.
Exactly. So we teach them how to build a tent, They have those materials included. It's an excellent thing that our learning experiences department puts together, and so I get to do that as a fun part
Continue
of my
your
job.
outdoor fun. That's so nice. So then you mentioned you were in healthcare. So let's backtrack a little bit. Did you grow up in Miami? Did you see yourself in that field? Did someone from your family just kind of get you to where you are? How did you, just tell me about Jose.
So, okay, perfect. I was born and raised here in Miami. My parents are Cuban immigrants, came in the 60s. I was born here 10 years after that. I went to high school here, and then I went to college away. I went to grad school away, and then I came back, like a salmon.
Like everyone else.
Right, like a salmon swimming upstream. All the good local folks come back, right? That's what we hope. So my mother had always been in healthcare and in healthcare fundraising. I didn't really see myself on that path. When I was little, I wanted to be a truck driver, imagine.
Okay, that's different.
Unique and different. And my dad always said, truck driver's good, but maybe if you owned the fleet of trucks, it would be better. So I always had that aspiration to be in business. My first jobs, because my graduate degree was international marketing and sales, I did probably 20 years of Latin American sales and marketing, being on an airplane 2 or 3 weeks out of the month. I feel like I paid my dues doing that. And then, I had my first child, and I saw her say her first words and take her first steps on FaceTime. And I decided that was not the path that I wanted to pursue. So I stopped doing that, and I was lucky enough to find an opportunity with Baptist in healthcare that allowed me to do what I really liked, which was government and community relations, specifically the community relations piece. So Baptist was very good to me. I had an awesome career with them, doing the things that were important to me, which led me to opportunities like leadership in the Orange Bowl Committee, leadership on the American Heart Association, and ultimately leadership at the Zoo Miami Foundation.
It's pretty neat that you've dabbled on everything you can possibly think of.
It's been a little bit of everything.
So that's nice. How did you kind of get involved with the chamber then? Like, how did you find Chamber South, and how does that transition play into your role?
So a little bit of background. When I mentioned that my mother was in healthcare, she was also the face of all of the foundations that she represented. She was the CEO of the Cedars Medical Center Foundation, the Mercy Hospital Foundation. So in her role, she was always required to be very present in things like the chambers of commerce, from the Greater Miami Chamber to every chamber. So I learned from an early age the importance of chambers. And I remember being little, and there were membership drives that my mom would always win because she was very good at that. And I would always joke with my mom. I go, it's incredible. You're in foundation work. I had never considered working for a foundation. And I go, I'll never do that. I mean, I'm a salesman. I sell things. People give me money, and I give them a tangible product. I think it's amazing people that work for foundations and are able to raise money based on, people's passions and things that they believe in. But from an early age, I saw that involvement in the community, especially through chambers, is critical. And that's why, when one of our board members is the previous executive director of Chamber South, and, we've always wanted to maintain this relationship. And now that you're there, we have a lot of hopes to continue that and to grow it.
That's neat that you're able to kind of just everything comes a full 360 when you're involved with the zoo. So where can people find the zoo? Where can they go towards if they had any more questions? What would that look like on you?
Sure. So, we have zoomiami.org, which is our website. We have our Instagram page. We have a Facebook page. I believe we have an X. Is that what it's called now?
I couldn't even tell you.
Twitter, X. Either way, we have that too. So we have all social medias, but what I encourage people, and my goal, and what I told the board when I took the job was, my goal is to get more people out to the zoo, because there's nothing like experiencing the zoo except experiencing the zoo. So if people want to reach out to me directly, want to reach out to the foundation, ask us for a visit, a tour, those are the kinds of things that we do. We really pride ourselves, because once you get out to the zoo, people forget. I think as a local Miamian, the first thing people think of the zoo, I've asked you this before when we had lunch, what is the first thing people say of the zoo?
Just
you can say it.
they don't even know that there's free parking. Let's put it that way.
All right, they don't know it's free parking. They think it's a little bit far.
Yeah.
But my job is to demystify all those things. It's a very short drive down the turnpike. It's 10 minutes from Kendall, 20 minutes from the Gables. So my goal is really to get people out there. So if people want to come out, feel free to ring my office, send me an email, come to the zoo. We're excited to get people out because we really do have one of the greatest zoos in the country. It's the fifth largest.
Wow.
In the country. It's a very big footprint.
Did not know that.
And we're typically ranked in the top 10 to 15 of TripAdvisor for best zoos in the country.
Yeah. That's a good one for you.
Yeah.
You said going backwards, there's giraffe feeding, but there used to be rhino feeding too.
There is. There's that too.
They're still there?
There's all kinds of, if you go on the website, it'll detail the different animal encounters that are available.
And what times.
And some of these are extra over and above the price of admission because it's a unique experience that people get to have. There's a tortoise Galapagos tortoise encounter, which is really cool. You get to be inside with the tortoise.
New.
Yeah. And they give you a brush and you can scrub the shell of a 140-year-old Galapagos tortoise.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. I definitely need to go back and do all of them.
Parakeet and lorikeet feedings. There's all kinds of encounters that you can do.
What's your favorite?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What's your favorite today? Because they cannot be your favorite.
Yeah, I think just the reaction of people with the giraffes is amazing because the giraffes are very interactive. They're always willing to participate because they're hungry. There's a lot of them. There's a great story. We're a very good breeding facility for our giraffes, and they're just beautiful animals.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's so many things you can do at the zoo.
There is.
Lots of activity, lots of interactive. We talked about this before, but how do you get around the zoo? How do you get to see all these people?
So that's a great question. So the zoo is huge. The Richmond Airfield tract on which the zoo is located is around 750 acres. A lot of that is protected pine rockland, which is the biggest tract of protected pine rockland outside of the Everglades. But what's developable is around 350 acres, of which about 250, I think, are developed at this point. So to your question, most people, there's very big spaces to cover. So most of the employees get around either on golf carts or bicycles. Their own private bicycles. So I am so fortunate. I have my own bicycle in my office. So when I either want to think without sound and go out, I'll ride around the zoo to see how the patrons are doing and what they're saying. But we have so many roads out in the part that's not really public facing where I ride my bicycle, and so that's how the employees get around. For individuals to get around to come visit the zoo, we have the bicycles, the 4 and the 6
with the
seaters,
10 and the little pedaling.
And it's a lot harder than people imagine. You get a good workout.
It is.
And then we also have this product called the Rideables. I don't know if you've seen that.
Okay.
So the Rideables look like a scooter that you see at either Disney or Walmart, but it's dressed up either looking like some type of an animal, whether it's a llama, a zebra, or an elephant, and 2 people fit on it, and it's motorized.
Yeah.
So
for the lazies.
Yeah, exactly. For people that maybe got enough exercise at home and they just want to cruise.
That's pretty neat. Well, we definitely learned a lot about the Zoo Miami Foundation and about Jose. Yeah. I'm going to do some rapid fire questions just to get to know you really quickly.
Sure.
Skittles or M&Ms?
Skittles.
Wow, you didn't even have to think about that.
Nope.
Sweet or sour?
Sour.
Okay, so you're not the sweet type. So you're 2 for 2 for sour.
Sour or salty? Or is there a difference?
So are you going to grab chips before you grab a piece of chocolate?
Absolutely.
Okay, well we're complete opposites, but we balance each other out.
Exactly.
What is your favorite season out of all 4?
Depends where. We're talking about Miami?
That's my follow-up question.
Okay.
It could be.
I like... Oh, that's a tough question. So ask me the first question, the second question.
Okay, in Miami.
In Miami. In Miami, my favorite season is now,
winter,
fall and winter.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's really fake winter.
Yeah, it is fake winter. But at least it's not 100 degrees and 100% humidity.
True. It's been a lot colder this year. Yeah. Maybe global warming, but that's another topic.
See why I wear this,
True. You're half warm, half cold. What is your favorite word that starts with the letter J?
Jalopy.
Does that even start with the letter J?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you know what a jalopy is?
No, I'm worried.
A jalopy is a beat up old car. It's
Okay.
just a funny sounding
Yeah.
word. Anyway, it's the first one I thought of.
That's funny. I honestly wouldn't have even, that you
know
got
what?
me thinking.
I keep a list in my office of references that I make that the people in my
Okay.
office have no idea what I'm talking about because most
Yeah.
of them are from a different generation than I am. So now I can add jalopy to that
Yeah,
list.
actually. Oh, I'm glad we made it somewhere. Okay, is there something that you collect?
Ooh, yeah. As a family, we collect stickers and magnets from the places that we go.
Do you place the sticker somewhere?
We do. We have a fridge in the garage.
Oh, Lord.
And a cooler.
That poor fridge.
Yeah, you know. And that's,
Where does it go after?
the cooler?
No, the stickers. After, like, you just leave it on the fridge. Do
Yeah,
you
it's
ever
like-
put any on top of any
No,
other?
no, you cannot. Put, and
Do you
my
ever get
daughter
rid
is
of
in
the
charge.
fridge?
No, and my daughter's in charge of placing them because
Uh-oh.
she's very symmetrical.
Is it so it's not a collage?
No, it's a very
They
well
have little
organized.
holes in between.
And it's funny you ask, collecting. I'm not a big collector, but my son Max happens to collect, of all things, an 8-year-old shot glasses from the cities that we go to because,
An 8-year-old.
well, he doesn't know that most shot glasses are used for liquor. He
It's
just thinks
supposed to
they're
be
perfectly sized
different.
cups for
Yeah.
him, right?
That's so nice. Do you let him like place it anywhere?
Yeah, he has a.
Does he know the meaning of the shot glasses?
I don't think he knows.
Maybe
yet.
later. It's okay. He could put like ice cream in different, like
Exactly.
a tasting or
He'll
something.
figure it out later.
Well, that's so nice. Thank you so much for coming.
Sure.
Thank you so much for having Jose here. We learned so much about the Miami Zoo Foundation, and we're so excited to be able to bring in different people. We have Chamber South Spotlight available. If you wanted to send me an email, info@chambersouth.com. We do have luncheons and networks every month. There's always something going on, and we're so excited to just get to know you and meet you. So thank you so much, Jose, for being a part of this, and we'll see you next week.
Right. Thank you so much.